Power Zone. I got one of my favorite Warriors. I didn't even know if you knew you were a Warrior.
I am a Warrior.
So this is our second time having Suzanne Hamilton, better known as Suzy Q. Awesome. I am so pumped. And the reason that is we're going to talk about overall health and wellness, what it's all about. And I love to tie it right in, Suze, with quality of life. And that's really, at the end of the day, I think that's what people are looking for, but they might not be able to articulate that or really understand it. And at the end of the day, it's all about quality of life. And if you can get a better quality of life, why wouldn't you, right? Why not? Who wouldn't want that? And I'm excited because the first time you're on, we went about 20 minutes back and forth with the people that we knew in the bodybuilding world, in the health and wellness world, in that whole industry. And we've just, it's just been our world. It's just who we are. It's our DNA, right?
In and around each other and never crossed paths.
No, but it's just been in our, especially when I knew you were an athlete early on. I started wrestling in 4th grade. So it's just who we are, you know, and kindred spirits.
It's in the DNA.
It is. It really is. And I wouldn't want it any other way, you know. But I'm excited, and I'm excited about the things you're going to share because it's real world stuff. And it's life-altering stuff that you're going to share, and I love it. I love it, and I've also started to do some things myself in that world with nutrition. Yes. So I'm pumped.
Things are a-changing.
Yes, but before we jump in, for anybody that didn't see the first show, introduce yourself and just give us a little background of who you are and how you got here.
Suzanne Hamilton, now Powers.
That's right.
I've been married, August will be 2 years.
Okay.
So I'm starting to get used to saying my new last name.
Okay.
I am a holistic health practitioner, master trainer, Reiki master, and...
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Reiki
really?
master.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Very zen.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about that?
Oh, yeah, we have to get you a session.
Wow.
We'll have to get OBE.
Wow.
Do some out-of-body experience.
Uh-oh.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you learned something new today.
Yeah, I think because we jumped right into the bodybuilding.
Yeah, we were into the physical stuff.
The core.
Former athlete, started running track and field at 7 years of age, AAU. Went all the way until Fresno State. We didn't have a women's track team at that time. They hadn't implemented all the girls and women's sports yet. Mm-hmm. They were dragging their feet for decades. And so I went out for the swim team, swam Division I for Fresno State. And as those of you that follow me know that I'm always posting stuff about Fresno State in academia and sports.
Okay.
So I'm happy to announce and say that one of my athletes that took my sports conditioning, and we called it blood and guts back then.
Oh, it's the old Dorian Yates.
Now it would be like a heavy-duty core class.
Okay.
But I worked for Coach Jim Sweeney, and Jeff Tedford, who was our quarterback at the time, is now Fresno State's head coach. So I'm going to get to see him after decades of
how cool is that?
Not being in contact, and I'm a big
cool
member for San Diego Fresno State alumni. Okay. And so he'll be coming down here on the tour, and they scout the kids, and I say kids, they're not kids, but young men. Yeah. And wow, it's going to be fun.
How cool is that? When's that going to be?
I'm really happy. I believe he's coming in June.
June? Okay.
Yeah, sometime in the summer they'll be.
Man, love it. Love it. How cool is that?
Once a jock, always a jock.
No, absolutely.
And then I'll be judging the UNBA Natural Bodybuilding Show on June 3rd. Okay. So hit me up for that, and I'll get you guys the information. Okay. That will be up in Los Angeles area.
You will? Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, as you know, I'm just going to pull this up so we can see any comments. As you know, once we jump off, you're going to be able to jump back on, reconnect with everyone, and post all your stuff. Okay. And it's cool because the first time right? I had that technical glitch where it went private. It didn't even go live.
Yeah.
Right. So
that's okay.
so you're really this is really your first
This is really
time.
my first live.
Right.
So we reposted the video of it though.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can and it's in our library, so and it's on our YouTube channel, so you can always we can always repost that as well, which would probably be a good thing because that gives you way more background on you, and we went deep and things like that.
Yeah,
I think
we went into
it was cool stuff.
Childhood.
It was awesome.
Everything.
Yeah, and where it all started, right? It was very cool for me. But I want to talk about a really cool subject, and it's hot right now for sure, right? And that's the keto.
Super
right?
hot.
Yeah, I mean.
And I'm Keto Q.
That a girl. That a girl.
Keto Q.
That a girl.
Yeah.
Because you were for how long were you actually a competitive bodybuilder?
Well, it took me at the peak of my bodybuilding competition days. It took me 17 years to get there.
Right, but
muscularity wise and everything. I was competing 6, 7, 8 years somewhere in there.
That was your window.
Yeah. And the reason I got out of it was because the drugs were coming heavy duty into play, and I knew that as a woman I didn't want to go that route.
Right.
And that's actually when I went back to school and did a 180 and went into holistic health.
Yeah. Yep.
So. Now I get to teach everybody how to do it in a healthy way.
And I want when we jump off, if you can, when you get back on and reconnect, post one of your pics, right, of the bodybuilding. So when you say 180, we're going to really show them a major visual, right, on a 180, because I think it's really good for people to know because you're coming with so much information, right? But real world wisdom. I mean, you've lived it. This
30 plus years.
Yeah, this was everything. This was your world.
Still is.
No, right.
But now I'm coming as a practitioner.
Yep. Yeah. And like you said, a 180. So now you're bringing so much of both worlds into it, because look, at the end of the day, you have to know your body. Pro bodybuilder, I mean, they just know their bodies. I mean, you have to be so in tune.
They're dialed.
They have to be so in tune. It's funny, I did I got challenged, and I did a Pilates workout with Sunny Almond.
Were you super sore?
Not super sore, but super, here's my aha moment. My aha moment was, she had me doing all kinds of exercise, right? And the one where the springs kind of doing flies, right?
Yeah.
And leaning. So, but here's what happened. Here's what was my aha moment. As bodybuilders, as iron therapy, just junkies, right? What are we always chasing? That mind, body, muscle connection, right? And when you're talking weights, it is much easier to lose that, right? And still do the exercise.
Yeah.
I lost the connection and lost my balance. Like I couldn't do the exercise.
Wow.
And she said, no, slower. So it made me, if I wanted to do the exercise the way it needed to be done, I literally had to stop, think, refocus, and do it. Like you had no choice. You either aren't going to do it or you're going to do it. If you're going to do it, it's going to be on their terms.
Well, it's just totally different proprioception.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're used to the iron,
yeah.
But then when you start implementing bands and springs,
yeah.
and the slide,
yeah.
And you're elongating. See, we're always contracting.
Yes.
So you're elongating, and you really have to focus on the negative. You have to focus on the negative part of the contraction.
That's true.
And man, it fires you up. That's why I said, were you really sore?
Yeah, and you know what? I wasn't as sore. I felt it, but I wasn't as sore as I thought it was going to be. But I'm sure she took it easy on me. But that was my thing. Like you were literally forced to just completely give in to you had to be there.
Yeah.
You nowhere else.
Yeah, you cannot daydream.
You couldn't, yeah. And then when I was doing the one where you're leaning over with the feet, and she put it on that strong. She goes, "Just don't go through the wall." She goes, "My husband sent him through the wall, through the
catapulted him."
Yeah, through the sheetrock.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Did you record that? Did you?
Oh, so
did you videotape it?
I had not only did
workout?
not only did
I
we
want to see it.
You ready? Not only did we videotape it, we did a reality show.
Oh,
So I picked up G, and the 9 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock at night. But here's what else we did that day. So her and her husband jump out of planes. They like skydive. And there's a place up in Paris, right, up in Riverside, and they have a wind tunnel.
Oh,
so we
fun.
went. I did Pilates in the morning, and then we videoed, and I went and did the air tunnel, right?
Is it an iFly?
Who?
Is it called an iFly?
I don't know. It's a big wind tunnel that you.
And they have guys that are professional that are in there with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you do it?
No, but remind me about iFly. I'll tell you what I have up my sleeve.
Okay, so I did that, and it was interesting, right? The Monster Motivator, the big fear barrier guy. What happened was when I got in, you're supposed to be in for like 2 minutes. I got in, and I'm like, I mean, they cranked it up because of my weight, right? And I couldn't breathe. Like it was because all I had was goggles, a helmet and goggles. And man, and I felt.
Were you hyperventilating? Or?
Well, here's what happened was, and then I was fighting it, right? So on top of all that, I felt like claustrophobic. So after 30 seconds, I was like, pull me out. I'm like, damn. So I gave it a little more time. I went back in, same thing, right? And I got pulled out. I'm like, man. So the end of the day, I did a Monster Motivator. I didn't go back in, right? So I did a Monster Motivator TV with the owner of the place. And when we went on live, I said, now she's had like 30-something thousand jumps and all that, right? As we went on live, I said, hey guys, we're live here at the Paris jump and blah, blah, blah. But I got to tell you, the bully took my lunch money today. And I said, I have to get that back. And I said, I will get that back. So we did the show. After that, we went out to dinner. We all went out to dinner. In conversation, I hear Sunny and her husband, Scott, talk about doing a jump on Sunday. And I thought the next morning, I couldn't shake it, right? It was
bugging you.
Yeah. So I text her.
Because
Saturday morning.
A winner never
right?
Quits and a quitter never wins.
When you got to get your lunch money back. That's what I preach, right?
Yeah.
So I text her, and she said, she goes, oh my, I go, are you guys going on Sunday? She's like, yeah. I go, if you can book me, the jumps are on me. I got to get back in. She's like, ah. So long story short, Sunday morning, driving up to 215, and here's what I say. When I hit that scary, excited combination, here's what I tell here's where I go mentally, is I say, instead of saying I have to go up there, right? I have to go and do this. I change my self-talk and I say, I get to.
Yes.
And then I picture myself in a hospital bed or in prison. Either one of those I don't get to.
No.
Right? So either one of so now I'm focusing on that. But here was the other thing. And I never did this before because I never faced this before. What's my definition of getting my lunch money back? Is it getting in there, gritting my teeth, biting down on the mouthpiece, and making it happen? Or, I had to ask myself this, and I said, God damn it, you got to ask yourself this? I said, or is it going in, enjoying it, and being able to leave going, I can go back in any time, versus gritting my teeth, holding on for 2 minutes, coming back out, and maybe not being able to go back in. To me, that's not winning, right? I didn't get my lunch money back. You're still
from a
fear.
place of fear.
Right, so you don't know if you're going to be able to. So I said, that's my definition. So I go in, we do the whole thing. Now here is one thing that made a big difference too, is they also have face masks. You can get a helmet with a face mask.
Right.
When they gave me the helmet with a face mask, that made a huge difference. But overall, so I think I went in 5 different times, and I got my lunch money back.
Awesome.
So I did it, girl. I did it. So it was interesting though, right? It was that test. What are you going to do? And I kept saying Friday night, it's no big deal, no big deal. And when I woke up Saturday morning and I couldn't shake it, I'm like, no.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
It's massive.
Right? It's a big deal. So anyway, all that being said, that big story I just spit out. We have, and I'll put it on here, right, when we get done.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
I want to see
so
that.
I have an actual
fabulous.
10-minute reality show of everything. So it was awesome.
That's
It's awesome.
so cool. Well, in holistic health,
yes.
What you experienced, we would call finding your center.
Okay.
So you're not gritting it out and
Yeah.
which is okay, time and place, right? But you needed to get centered and grounded so that you could go up in the air and not be freaking out.
Yeah, and for me, one of the things was identifying, this was important to me, right? Identifying my definition of winning. Of getting my lunch money. What is that? Now, years ago, I wouldn't even been there, right? I would have just said, grit it out, thinking that I won. But ultimately, if I couldn't go back in anytime I won, I didn't win.
Yeah, because you would have just been there, done that, and never done it again.
Right, never done it exactly.
Gritted it
Yeah,
out.
and then I probably wouldn't have been able to go back in those other 4 times at that moment. I would have been like, all right, I did it, I'm good.
Yeah.
Right? But think about it, right? That really, then in my definition, I didn't really win. You know?
Yeah.
I got a little bit of lunch money back but I love to eat. I need it all back.
Yeah, that's right.
I love to eat.
That's one thing about bodybuilders. We love to eat.
We live to eat. I mean, you might.
I got to tell you.
Yeah.
My buddy, that was my training partner. We called him Chuck E. Cheese. His name's Charlie Murch. So Charlie, if you're watching this, we got reconnected via Facebook. I don't know, something triggered me and I started thinking about him. I was like, I wonder if he's on Facebook. But we would go to the Broken Yoke in PB because, we worked out at Gold. So we'd work out and then we'd go feast. And so here we are, and this beautiful girl that would wait on us, Bonnie. The table was like this big. Yeah, I'll tell you why in a second. Table's like this big, and it's full of food. And I'm looking at him, and I just leaned back on the booth, and I said, Charlie, what in the world? And he's like, what, Q? And I said, why did we pick a sport where we have to freaking diet?
I know, right?
It is insanity. So that brings us into the whole keto thing, because now you can diet and still feast.
Yes.
And you do not have to ever go into deprivation again.
No.
Zero deprivation, gang. Sports fans, no deprivation.
And give us the definition of deprivation, okay? So people know. So catabolic state, right?
Well,
or expand on it.
Well, I mean, you talking about the old school, what we used to do?
Well, how it pertains now, right? Because
zero carb days.
Right, what you're saying, yeah.
So what we would do is high protein, fiber carbs. Mm-hmm. So spinach, broccoli.
Green leafies. Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
But we did lower fat, super high protein, and we would have zero carb days.
Yeah.
We would have zero carb days many days in a row, to the point that when I was competing the last several years, my girlfriends would have to drive me.
Wow.
Because you lose your color, like you can't see color, your depth perception, your what we used to call brain dead.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a joke, but it wasn't a joke. And so you're literally losing brain cells from not feeding the brain. Right. Now, what do we know today? And what do we know the last few years, and it's been coming, and it's coming on strong, is ketogenic eating is what the doctors would have kids that have seizures do ketogenic programs. So it would drop their
and who's actually living that
frequencies down
is G's brother.
Yes.
G's
brother. G's brother's been on ketogenic diet almost his whole life.
Yeah. Well, the last 2 years they really dialed him in because he had a really bad seizure. So they completely dialed that in, like to where. And the thing with that now is his body's such a furnace that he can't even put weight on because he's just right. And then, I'll let you explain that.
He's a machine.
Yeah.
So now what the ketogenic program is, you're eating higher fat and primarily good fats, but you also get animal fat.
Yeah.
Because we've been lied to for 50 years. And moderate protein and low carb. So ideally, it's 70% fats.
Okay.
It's 25, 30-ish% protein.
Is it that low? Yeah.
Yeah, and then 20 grams of carbs. And I say grams, not percentage. Grams. Now, for us that are mesomorphic, we're the oddballs in the group. So it's going to be a little bit lower on the fats. It's going to be a little bit more on the protein and a little bit more on the carbs.
And explain what that is, though, who we are.
Who we are as bodybuilders? As mesomorphics?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so mesomorph body type is we're more muscular. Just our genetics, the way God made us.
Yeah. We can put muscle mass on.
Yes, we keep muscle mass on, provided that we're eating properly. But when we work out, it's easy for us to gain muscle mass. Mm-hmm. We don't have to work so hard to get the muscle mass. Now, what we were doing wrong when we were dieting down, literally, for a show, so we would have this off season where we would bulk up, and then we would chisel down, and diet down.
And hope to keep as much as you can.
And try to keep as much muscle as possible. Now we have a better program. We have a better grasp on nutrition and how our brain feeds. And our brain needs the fats. And our brain does not need so much glycogen. So we've gotten way out of whack in the U.S. and now the rest of the world is starting to become overweight and obese because they're eating entirely too much processed, refined, high carbohydrate.
They're flipping it.
Yeah, so it's gonna flip.
It's 70% sugars and carbs, right? And that craziness, and then the other gets fit in somewhere along the line.
Right.
On top of the processed food and all the hormones that are in the food, right?
So I have to get on my soapbox for a second.
There you go.
Organic, non-GMO, grass-fed, grass-finished.
Finished.
Yeah, so in
that?
other words, with the meats that you eat, you want to, as much as possible, make sure that they're not finishing with grain.
Oh.
Because if they finish the animal with grain,
I didn't even know that.
To fatten it up somewhat, so they have a higher yield. 98% of our soybean products that are grown, and at least 98% of our corn, because corn's subsidized, is GMO. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. Here's the deal. It does matter. We don't know to what extent it's going to matter because we won't know for probably fast forward 15 to 20 years the damage that splicing DNA of plant sources with, pig
animal
DNA or whatever they're doing it with to beef it up the yield, to have it to where it doesn't attract insects, so it kind of repels insects. So that's a whole another episode. But anyway, just in a nutshell, you want to eat. I've been teaching for years and years 80-20, but I'm more leaning toward 90-10 now, especially with this ketogenic program.
So
90% eat as clean and the best you can. Gotcha. Yeah. And then 10% allow yourself to live. Yeah. If you go out with the buds and you have a beer, you have a beer. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Or if it's a wedding or
you have a piece of cake.
Yeah, if you're having a piece of cake, let yourself live.
Yeah.
Let yourself enjoy. And then that's kind of like that thing you were talking about when you woke up the next morning and it was just wearing on you that got the best of you in that tunnel. Yeah. So if you're eating and you're bagging on yourself the whole time you're eating, like, I really shouldn't be eating this. I'm going off my diet. Oh, I'm really blowing it. Right. Oh, man, this is going to be bad. Right. And then what happens to the psyche? Yeah. Well, then well, I already blew it, so what the heck? What difference does it make? So what matters is what you do every day, right?
Yeah.
So if you beat yourself up and you browbeat yourself and that self-talk just
that
chips away, and then you're like, screw it, what difference does it make? I've already cheated.
Right.
I blew my diet. So keyword is there's no diet because the first three letters of the word diet are die.
Yeah.
So we do not. We want to live and we want to flourish and we want to have abundance. So what you're going to do is you're going to allow yourself to have that. So you allowed yourself to have that moment. You woke up the next morning and you're like, okay, unacceptable.
Yeah.
I get to go do this again.
Yes.
And this time I'm going to experience.
Right.
And it's going to be, you're going to be elated because like with the Pilates,
yes,
you're in the moment and you all your senses are keyed in and you are that moment.
Yeah.
Whatever's going on. So that's what you do when you eat.
Yes.
And you enjoy and you
100%.
Get into it. You love it.
And allow
yourself.
You allow
to
yourself
experience whatever it is that you're
And
having.
here's the other thing I used to say when I would help people with meal plans, like when I had Nutrition Zone, is, and you don't have to have the whole day as a cheat day, right? But again,
and that's what I was going to say.
But you can have some cheat meals if it's scheduled. If you know what you're doing. But what my point is here's what happens too. And you know this better than anybody. When you live such a clean lifestyle overall, 80%, 90% of your time, and you do go off, at that moment, it tastes unbelievable. But then everything's out of whack.
You don't feel good.
You actually feel like a hangover, right? Because you have that food coma.
Yeah.
So then it reminds you, so then subconsciously it's a good thing, because you're like, wow, I don't want to feel like this again. So you give it another week.
Yes.
Then.
So what I teach is, I don't use the word cheat day anymore or cheat meal.
Okay.
Treat.
There you go.
Allow yourself to have the treat. You're treating yourself to allow yourself to enjoy something that you don't
without
do
guilt
all the time, with zero guilt.
I love that. I
Zero
like the treat.
Guilt. Treat. So and then what? Then get right back on your next meal. So if it's 11 p.m. and you're out and it's a wedding and you're partying and you're having champagne and you're having cake and you're eating, great. Go to bed, have your pink Himalayan sea salt, get your electrolytes going, maybe some B's, B12, sublingual. Drink your water before you go to bed. The next morning when you get up, you're probably going to, like you said, feel pretty yucky. Yeah. So get up and have your water again, get your electrolytes going again, get your B vitamins going again. And I like the plant-based, organic, non-GMO sublinguals. And then your first meal, get right back on it.
Right back on it, yeah.
If it's during the day, whatever your next snack or meal is, get right back on it.
Yeah.
And then you can get away with a lot more treats that way.
Yeah.
Not as often, but you'll get away with it and you'll enjoy it and you won't have that huge rebound.
Yeah.
Like for us when we were bodybuilding, we would diet so hard, remember?
Yeah.
And seriously, I have seen guys compete because I judge and then I see them at the gym the next Monday. So it's a Saturday morning, Saturday night, and they'll come back in the gym 25 pounds up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
From Saturday with total bloat and water weight and sodium. I mean,
just
and the sugars and the
toxing.
sugars. Just and
so
they're just
toxic.
They look like moon face.
Yeah.
And that is not healthy. That's super unhealthy for the kidneys, the liver, the heart, everything.
Yeah, that's true. And because right after you're like gorging yourself, right? Because you did all that.
You've been in starvation mode for weeks.
Yes.
I know some IFBB Pro ladies that would diet 22 weeks out from Miss Olympia. That's half of a year. Half of a year you're spending dieting. No way, Jose. Forget about it.
And
that's one of the reasons why you haven't seen me on stage in years. I hate.
Yeah, I know.
I hate having to count. I don't like counting macros. I don't like counting calories. And with this ketogenic program,
Yeah.
forget it. You don't need to do that.
So talk about this.
So
What's you've had some major changes? What in the last year?
Yeah, 11 months.
Almost a
next
year.
Next month will be, at the end of May, will be a year
Okay.
that we found a product that is
That you wait a minute. That
amazing.
you weren't even looking for.
No.
That's the key.
No, was
this
not
is
looking for it.
this is what the key to this story, because I know it. You weren't looking for it, so that's key, because this and with all your knowledge and wisdom in this world, it would have to be something that is going to completely knock your socks off. I mean, really.
It's
I mean,
sci-fi.
Yeah, but it's so let's set the stage, because
fiction.
what you bring to the table, right? Who you are, your background, on every level. Now you're not even looking for anything. You're good. You're just minding your own business.
Well, actually, I was working on a client.
Yeah.
And I had worked on her and her family for many, many years, 7+ years, and she began to tell me about this. And I actually, folks, had to ask for forgiveness later on for being skeptical. Because I'm usually pretty, being holistic, I'm usually a lot more open-minded. But you know us in this industry, and you came from the vitamin world, we get hit with the latest, greatest fashion
Juice,
vitamin juice,
whatever,
pill, whatever. And so after a while, you just
you're getting numb. You get numb.
Yeah, you're like, okay, yeah, right, whatever.
Yeah, you do.
So I was listening to her, but it wasn't something that really was resonant. I was working on her, actually. She was on the sports massage table, and she CrossFits, and so I'm zoned in when I'm working on you.
Yeah.
I'm like you with the Pilates. It's a full 100%. Every cell in my being is focused on what we're doing when you're on the table. And so she's telling me about it, and I'm, okay. Comes back a couple weeks later, gives me some more information. Well, they were in the prototype. They were in the beginning phases of this product. And I said, okay, well, do you have any product? No. I'm like, okay. Then I was just kind of like, okay. Then it just boggles your brain, because you're like, well, why are you even telling me about this? Then she comes back the next time, and she's telling me about it again. And I said, well, is there a website? Is there research? Is there a pamphlet? Is there anything?
Right.
And they really, truly were in the trenches of coming up with this whole program, this whole system, the products. And it's awesome. It's awesome what they have done and where they've come from and what they're doing and where we're going with this. And finally, because she knows I'm such a research bug, she said, hey, they're having a conference in San Diego, and this was the end of May last year. And there's a neonatal doctor coming, and she's going to be talking about the ketogenic program. And there's an exercise physiologist, nutrition PhD specialist coming, and he is going to be talking about performance. So how is this going to relate to us as providers of athletes, practitioners of athletes, and athletes? So she sparked my interest.
Yeah.
She finally hit the nail on the head and got something that made me want
to know more,
to get to go.
Yeah.
That get to go thing, not have to go listen to this, not another one of these, right? Because we've heard so.
That's right.
I call it propaganda anymore. When the companies are coming to us, with their spiel and wanting us to try their products and sell their products for them. So when we went, Patrick, my husband, went with me, and halfway through the neonatal doctor's presentation, we just looked at each other. And he's had 8 concussions, traumatic brain injury. He has dementia that runs on one side of his family. So he's been concerned.
Okay.
I, as we're getting into middle-agedness, don't want to go away. Yeah. Nor do I want my body to go away.
Yeah, you want that quality.
So I want the quality and the longevity.
Yes. Yes.
And everything that we've spent our whole lives doing, I want that to continue.
Yes.
So halfway through, I looked at him and I said, you know what, babe? I don't know what this is. I don't know what this tastes like. I don't care if I have to put a clothespin on my nose and hold my breath to get this in my body. We need this in our brains and we need this in our bodies. And it changed our lives, Dave. It absolutely changed our lives. Patrick is down 30 pounds of body fat. He had been on workers' comp with 2 different knee injuries and knee surgeries for 10 plus months. He's now back to work for almost a month and happy. He couldn't walk. He couldn't exercise. They wouldn't even let him go pull a weed, right? Because workers' comp, you have to toe the line. So his health got better. Can't make any medical claims. His health got better. He was able to come off some of his meds that he was using. And I just won't even mention it because I don't even want to get into any situation there. And his body fat just kept coming down and down and down and down. He went from a size 52 suit. And when we went to a conference in January, he was in a size 46 regular tux.
Wow.
Like we had to go, have him fitted and have the tux taken in. And I mean, it was dynamite.
Wow.
Me personally, I wasn't doing it for a fat loss situation, but I had to go buy new clothes also because I'm down 2 sizes. And it wasn't that I was FAT, it was that I was in that middle age, menopausal, perimenopause stuff.
Yeah, things are
And
changing.
And I wasn't liking it.
Yeah.
But now I'm at the point where I can go work out again. And you know from last time, I wasn't able to work out for 6 years because of my back issues.
You back working out?
I'm back working out. It's very slow and concise, and I'll, according to my doctor, I'm never going to be allowed to run again because the degenerative disc that I have in my back won't allow the pounding.
Yeah, but if you wanted, you could do elliptical. You could do things.
Yes,
that
I do the rower, the elliptical.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
weight training, the way we know how to weight train. But
Yes.
I'll tell you, it's a different. It's like you were talking about how you got connected with Pilates, and you're in.
You had to have that
100.
connection.
You're all in 100% laser focus. When the day one, I almost broke down and cried on the ab bench.
How long ago?
In November.
Okay.
Back in November. And because here I am barely able to get 10 reps of abs when I used to teach Division 1 spring conditioning blood and gut core classes, our whole lives we are dialed in. We are like these ferocious athletes, hear me roar.
Yeah.
And I've got my headphones on and I'm got my eyes closed and I'm not paying attention to anything that's going on around me, and I'm barely getting 10 reps. And it wasn't because of my abdominals, it was because of my back.
Yeah. And
so I said, okay, Suze, here's the deal. Like my mother would say, you have nowhere to go but up. This is your ground zero.
Okay.
And you're just going to be better and better and better every day. Now, what's happened with the products that we're drinking, they are putting us in an anti-catabolic state. It actually tells your body to preserve the muscle.
Okay.
It feeds you, goes through the blood-brain barrier, feeds your brain. So you talk about laser focus. You are laser focused. And now what I got to interview one of our scientists, PhDs, behind the scenes that's coming forefront now. We're getting ready to do a 8-week challenge, ketogenic with the products program for folks, and it will be customized per person. That's still available. We're going to actually start Monday, May 1st. So let me know if anyone's interested, and we can get you the info and get you dialed in. You can
So when
jump
you
on
say
board
customized, what do you mean? Like
so each person is going to be coached.
Oh.
And it's going to be coached for what you need.
Okay.
Because what you need, Dave, is different than what I need. I'm in a different place in life now. So they will guide us. They will guide us with meal prep, with meal plans, with recipes.
Now, how does somebody get in that?
They'll get a hold of me.
Okay.
And I will send you my link.
And you're going to post all that.
I will post all this after our interview today.
Awesome.
And you will still be able to get the program and 8 weeks of your keto supplements. Yes.
Okay.
So you're going to be getting the pure therapeutic ketones for 8 weeks, and then the coaches are going to coach you on exactly how to implement.
Oh,
and you're going to be doing before pictures. You're going to be doing during pictures. You're going to be posting. You're going to be, it's a journey. Yeah. It's a challenge, but it's actually an 8-week journey for better. And every single person is going to get better. I mean, something in your life will be better.
So does that person get their own coach, or is it
There are coaches that will be, I don't know exactly how they're going to do it because they haven't revealed to us how they're assigning. Your coach is going to be different than the coach I'll get.
Oh,
and
but will
different
I have the
than
same
the coach. There's multiple coaches.
Okay.
The keto coaches.
Okay.
And I don't know how they're assigning your coach to you.
Gotcha.
That's like the inner works of
Yeah.
it. I think what they'll do is they'll let everyone know right when we're getting ready to start on Monday or maybe this weekend through email.
Okay.
So it'll be emailed to you personally, and then they will tell you how to start. You know, you're starting here because you have a questionnaire that you fill out, and then those coaches will have their people that they're working with. So each person then will be getting individualized attention. Okay. It's not one-on-one per se, but they will have coaching once a week.
Gotcha.
There will be contact from their particular coach once a week.
Okay.
So they're going to learn how to eat. If they've never done a program like this ever, they're going to learn how to work into the program. Like you yourself, I know you've been doing a ketogenic diet, and so it's an evolutionary process.
It is.
And then what these ketones are greater than glucose do is it's like a battery cable almost on a cellular level. It jump starts you, and it feeds your body the ketones that it would take. Like say, remember Atkins diet?
Yeah.
Everybody was doing an Atkins diet. Yeah. So it would take days and sometimes weeks to get into ketosis. Yeah. Now with these products, you can get into ketosis within 30 to 60 minutes. And you can pee on a pee strip
and see
on a urine strip, and you can see you can
that you're in it.
Do your urine sample before you drink it, wait 30 minutes to an hour, use your urine strip again, and it will prove to you
now
that you're in ketosis.
Are these products, are they replacement of meals, or are they
not a meal replacement?
In addition to?
In addition to your meals.
Okay, that's great.
So, and everybody is going to be eating what's good for you. Right. So, one thing that they do talk about is intermittent eating. Okay. Or some people call it intermittent fasting. Okay. I particularly like the word eating better than fasting because fasting associates the negative.
Yeah, it's like a cheat day.
So, and not to say that there's anything wrong with fasting.
No, I know.
Because fasting is biblical and it is good. I just personally like the positive side of the word eating.
I love it.
So what you'll do is they will dial you in. These coaches are fabulous, and I mean they're brilliant thought leaders, and they will be teaching all of us. I'm on this journey too. They'll be teaching all of us exactly how to implement to optimize what's best for you. Okay. So it's not a blanket, go to the internet and pull out this thing off and follow it. eating plan. It is what's going to work best to optimize for you so that you are better, so that you're a better coach, you're a better dad, I'm a better practitioner, I'm a better wife, I'm a better friend.
It's quality.
It's quality of life.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's awesome. So you have some people signed up and they're ready to go?
I have a couple of my athletes.
Yeah.
Patrick and myself are on it. I have a couple of ladies from some of my networking groups that I'm actually working very closely with one of them on hydration and water and what kind of water is the best water for you to implement. It does matter. I mean, there's always controversy, right?
Sure.
It's like a muscle and fitness magazine or a flex magazine
or
an oxygen magazine, and you open up one page
it'll never
this
end.
person says this, and this, and you turn the page and they say, no, that's a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. You want to do this. So what do I tell my folks?
What do you say?
Look at the pictures.
Right?
Don't read the articles.
Take the guesswork out.
Forget the articles.
Take the
Forget what
guesswork
they're
out.
saying. Look at the pictures. Here's what I have you do. I have you do a vision board. So say, for instance, if you're working on your physique and you want to change your physique, I have you do a vision board. So I have you go through magazines and you cut out pictures of body parts and how you want your body to look. Like not everybody's going to have Tom Platt's legs, right?
Yes.
So if you don't know who Tom Platz is, Google him.
Right.
He's a monstrosity. So what you do is you get real with yourself, and you put on your vision board, how do I want to be? What do I want to do? What do I want to look like? And your vision board can be anything. It can be, if you want to travel.
Yep.
And you start cutting out pictures of places that you want to travel, and you put those on your vision board. Because what happens when you visualize?
No, it starts to manifest.
You manifest.
It starts with thoughts, feelings, action, create results. Yeah. So it starts to manifest. Absolutely.
And so
the magic starts to happen.
You manifest through your visualization. You manifest through creating a vision board. You manifest through your spoken word. And a lot of my clients know this. In fact, all my clients know this. If you speak something negative, I'll be in your face going, cancel. Yeah. And they laugh, and I'm like, no, you say cancel. Right. And then they laugh, and they're like, cancel. I'm like, no, say it with authority. You need to cancel.
Mean it. You need to mean it.
Because you don't want to put out and crystallize, even if you're thinking it, don't say it.
Right.
Start retraining your brain. If you have a relapse and you say something that you don't mean, cancel that out. Cancel?
Yeah.
That's not what I mean. I get to.
Yes. Yeah.
So you did that.
Yeah.
You just innately did that.
You just
because your brain, you're so great with coaching us on breaking the fear that your own brain did it for you by switching up your verbiage.
Yes.
You switch up your verbiage, and I get to go do this.
Yes. And then what did I do? I envisioned.
You visualized.
In a position that I wouldn't be able to. In a hospital bed or in prison. Because, excuse me, I'm just getting over a cold. Because then that gave me the perspective.
Yep. Yeah. It's awesome. So everything we do, body, mind, and spirit, which is what we put under the heading holistic. Okay. Holistic health practitioner, holistic health and fitness. Okay. That's my world. That's what I do. And I teach others how to implement. Not how to take etch a sketch and erase everything. No, we take our life journey and we start taking one thing at a time and we make it better. Now, these products that we found, that we've been blessed with, that my client I'm going to give her kudos. Lindy, thank you for your persistence, by the way, and thank you for loving me enough to stay after me, because I'm one of those hard nuts to crack, and I was a skeptic, and I literally had to ask for forgiveness for not being open-minded at that time. And it's made me a better person because I'm not so quick to judge things, our snap judgment. I don't have time for that. No, get real with the Pilates.
Yeah.
Get present with what it is that's being shown to you, what it is that's being presented to you, whatever it is God is wanting to bless you with. Take a step back and go, okay, wait a minute. I need to take a moment. I need to take this time to try this out. What do you have to lose?
Yeah.
You're going to spend money on food anyhow.
And
why not spend money on something that's quality?
And here's the other thing is, and you know that you're right here with me, nothing happens by mistake.
No.
Right? Whether you consciously or subconsciously, you were searching for things, right? Whether you could identify it or not, and it came to you.
Well, I will share this with you. I have a dear friend that was starting to go away. And she came to me, and this was before my client started talking to me about this product, which we're going to mix it up and shake it for you and drink it for you in a minute. And my heart was just, I said, Lord, ginkgo, I was giving her ginkgo, bobola, and,
you could just see her slipping
addressing
away,
the nutrition. Well, her family had come to me, and they were talking to me about it, and, what can we do? And so my mindset is that I immediately start researching.
Right.
But I wasn't finding anything other than what we already knew in our supplement world, in our nutrition world. And I was having her eat signature foods. I was having her eat walnuts and things that feed the brain. And after I got over my 2 or 3 times of skepticism, I went, okay, you know what? I asked for this. And this is exactly what I asked for.
And what
it's
you
exactly
need.
what I was searching for her. Now, inadvertently, it's going to benefit all of us. And it is going to turn the food pyramid upside down. It's going to change everything. The government's going to be not happy about it, but too bad, so sad. We're going to come in the masses and educate. It's all about education. Education is key, and implementation changes lives. So she's much better.
Wow.
Yeah, much better. She drinks it in the morning, and she is sassy frass. I mean, she feels good. She is on fire. It's changing her life.
Wow. And
her family is most grateful. So, everything. We talked about this when you interviewed me the first time about Celestine prophecy. Yeah. And there are no mistakes.
No.
Everything happens for a reason. Mistakes. Everything happens. And everything happens for our highest, most good, even if it's uncomfortable, even if we have to go through periods of fear, even if we have periods where we feel like a failure, or like we just are falling short. And the biggest thing is, don't stop, keep going.
No, just keep going.
Like my mother would tell us when we were kids, pick yourself up, brush off your knees, keep going. Yeah,
see, it's, I use this a lot, is that darkness is only temporary as long as you keep moving forward. The only time it becomes permanent is when you go back into safety. And you stop growing.
Right.
And what happens? Now you start to die.
Right.
Right? You're either growing or dying. There is no in between.
There is
we like to think there is, but there
there's
really
no.
Isn't. We can't trick nature like that.
There's no idle.
No.
Even an engine.
Yes.
If you sit with your car running and an engine running and idle, what's happening?
Yeah.
It's wearing out your engine.
It starts eats away.
You're burning gas.
Yeah.
And it's wearing out your engine.
Yes. No, it's so great. Yeah.
I mean, it's, you know, it's parallel.
And that's what I like. That's what I like about what you're bringing to the table here too, is because again, it's about quality of life. And one of the things that I talk about a lot, now I'm going to actually be talking more and more about it too, is society wants to program us from an early age to think that you get to a certain age, whether it's 35, 40, 45 years old, and you're supposed to feel achy. You're supposed to feel beat up. You're supposed to feel this. You're supposed to feel that. And I remember
Natural causes is what they call it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so far from the real, but so many people are in that, right?
Yeah.
I remember in 2005, I'm at the Arnold Classic in Ohio, and Arnold was giving that. See now, so he was giving a Lifetime Achievement Award to Jack LaLanne.
Oh, yes.
Now I'm standing.
I wasn't there, but I saw that.
Okay, so I am standing in line, and I was married at the time. I was with my wife, and she didn't really know who he was, but she heard of him, and I knew who he was, right? And he was 92 years old at the time, 2005. He had a suit on. His waist was like this. He came up, and as he was walking by, I go, Jack, and I shake his hand, and he just had more energy. So he gets on stage, and Arnold now has a plaque to give him a Lifetime Achievement Award, and Arnold's looking around, and the crowd's going crazy. Jack LaLanne is running around on stage flexing for everyone at 92. Arnold couldn't even find him. And you know what he says?
He is the epitome of...
Besides the exercise, besides all this, you know what he said?
Longevity.
Yeah, you know what he said? No processed food.
Yes.
He said everything real, like no processed food. Yes.
Food, not plastic. I call it plastic food.
Yeah, people. Yeah, he said people want to know what my secret is. They think it's this. They think it's that. He went right to processed food, and that's what he said. He goes, and here's the other thing. When I shook his hand, and I said hello, and he said hello, hey. And when we conversed, only for a few seconds, here's what I take out of it. The clarity at 92 was unbelievable. Like the clarity. Like, forget the physical, right? Forget the energy. Forget the crazy maniac.
His cognitive.
Yes.
His cognitive was spot on.
Yes.
I got to meet him, I believe it was either the next year or the year after that.
Okay, so he was in his 90s.
He was 93 or 4.
Yeah.
He was here at one of our
really?
conventions in
Really?
San Diego.
Yeah.
And we didn't have this cell phones then, I don't think, with cameras yet.
Wow.
So, but I have his autograph, and I stood at his booth and chatted with him and told him about how my mother on our black and white TV when I was a kid, my mother used to follow along with him when he was on TV doing exercises, and I would get down on the floor, and I was a little bitty kid doing exercises with my mom and Jack LaLanne on the black and white TV.
I was actually...
That's probably where my bodybuilding started, was Jack LaLanne. I can't even believe that.
I was at that same convention.
I bet you were.
I know I was.
I'm telling you, we were like this.
I flew out to San Diego, and because I came out in 2005 on vacation and then fell in love with it. So now I'm looking for anything to bring me back out.
Yep.
I was there. That was
awesome.
cool. But his clarity was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and that was another thing that I wanted to start drinking the ketones. Ketones are greater than glucose. Tagline. Because I don't even know how many brain cells I damaged dieting.
And
in those zero carb days. And then going off the other, going and splurging, we used to call it. Macking out was what we were doing. And what happens is that sugar hits your system, and then it takes weeks to get off that sugar.
Yeah.
And this will help you not want sugar. And I'm telling you, it takes a while to get keto adapted, as you know, because you've been doing the ketogenic program. But it catapults you to get off the sugars. It enables you to not want the sugars. Before ketones, and this is the honest to goodness truth, I was a chocoholic. I was a chocoholic for many, many, many years.
She's like, my name's Suzy Q,
and I love chocolate. Chocolate is my middle name. So what I would do is, true confessions are coming out.
This is real, raw, and live.
When I was competing, and we would be zero carbon, right? But then you would have days where you could bring your carbs up, but it was still counted, and it was still controlled.
Sugars.
What? So what would I do? I would go to, well, it was Boney's then.
Yeah.
Then it became Henry's. Now it's Sprouts. I would go and I would buy a pound of chocolate out of the bulk bins. Primarily malt balls, because the malt balls are just the best. Or peanut butter cups. Right? Because I was wanting fat too.
The kryptonite.
And we would do, I don't know if you guys did this, but if those of you out there that did this, or if you're still doing it, stop doing it. Chew and spit. Did you do it?
Yeah. Well, and I even did that with gum.
Chew and spit.
Yeah.
So but you're still getting sugary because you're not going to swallow some.
No.
What we would do is and I did it in private. And I didn't want anybody to know I was doing it. I was like a I don't know. Yeah. Closet alcoholic or something.
Yeah. It's an addiction.
I would chew it, and I would relish it, and I would love it, and I would oh yeah, baby, and then I would take barf bag, but I would take actually I would take a bowl, and then I would spit in the bowl, and spit it all out, and then I would take the next piece, and I would chew it, and I would and then I would spit into the bowl. And then I washed the bowl down the garbage disposal, and I would go brush my teeth. Yeah. But I was still getting sugar.
And here's the thing, though. Make no mistake, right? It's an addiction.
It was.
It's an addiction.
It was bad news there.
It is.
So as I learned over the years and evolved, I stopped doing that because I'm still getting the insulin influx. Yeah. Freak, you can't burn body fat for 6 to 8 hours after an insulin influx. I don't care how much cardio you cardio yourself to the moon and back. You're not going to burn body fat. You're going to burn what?
You're going to burn the sugar.
No, you're going to burn the muscle.
Burn the muscle, right?
You're going to start burning muscle for fuel.
Right.
Because muscle or protein, when you have a sufficient amount of protein and you overeat protein, this is why on the ketogenic diet it's a moderate level of protein, your body will convert that protein into glucose. And then glucose is stored quickly. So all those years that we would diet and we're eating massive amounts of protein, and then what? We have to go do massive amounts of cardio. Yeah. And you're just on this roller coaster. No more roller coaster. This plan, I want to come out of retirement. Wow. I don't want to be big and huge like I was, but I wouldn't mind stepping out as a master on a bodybuilding stage and walking home with a couple swords. Wow. Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be awesome. That if you do that.
Now I said this out loud.
That's
live in person.
That's right.
You guys are gonna be on me now about this.
Yes, that would be that.
So what's our time frame, Dave? What should we do? 2 years?
I think
18 months.
I think once you make that big decision, it's on. It's on.
It's like I get to.
You do.
I get to.
Oh my God.
Walk out on stage, and you know what's so awesome? This time, I'll be representing a whole different age group.
Absolutely.
Because I was young and cute before when I was doing it.
And
now, not too many people in our age group are walking out on a bodybuilding stage.
Right, but here's the thing: you're going to be representing a whole nother lifestyle.
Exactly.
A whole nother.
Yeah.
It's not
a healthy.
That's what I mean.
Way.
And that's why you're able to walk out on that stage, right?
Yeah.
Because you're representing a different lifestyle, right?
Right.
That allows you now to carry that flag and say, you know what? Here you're going to give the middle finger to society and go, guess what? It doesn't have to
The
be.
old me would give the middle finger.
Right, but no, what I'm saying,
Yeah,
right?
I know,
like we talked about earlier, it's the truth because you're gonna show them that listen, it doesn't have to be right. Like Jack LaLanne, 92 years old, made me look like I'm standing still, like just
Fabulous.
like
He is fabulous.
right. I mean, just
Yeah, I mean,
amazing.
he was juicing before people knew what juicing was.
yes,
You know?
yes,
I mean,
yes. He was just.
he was the man.
Oh, he was the man.
Remember all the Jack LaLanne gyms?
And the beautiful white shepherds, German shepherds he had.
Yeah, I forgot about them.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
awesome.
man.
Yeah.
And you know what else is really cool? I don't know if a lot of people know this, but he was married for, all forever, his wife. But when they met, she drank and smoked.
No.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes. She
Converted her?
well, she literally changed her, and she says, I'd seen it in interviews, she said he literally saved her life, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I don't even know that he saved her life. He enhanced her, like, again, quality.
Yeah.
Quality. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quality of
Well,
life.
I was working on a client the other day, and we were chatting. Tax season. So
Right.
our,
Yeah.
wonderful time of the year, not. He sits, he's CPA, and he sits for hours and hours and hours doing tax preparation. He just finished his 52nd year of doing taxes. This guy is a master at numbers. I mean, you guys need help with taxes or
He's a
anything like
whiz.
that? Get a hold of me. I'll get you connected. So he was bound up, and his calves.
Wow.
He was having some cramps in his feet and different things. And I said, well, yeah, it's from sitting.
Yeah.
Do you know that sitting is the worst thing you can do?
Right.
And I said, I told him, I said, I don't know if you've heard this or if you've heard me say it through the years, because I've been working on him for a long time. But we don't get old because of age.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, like, let me think how the saying goes. We get old because we stop moving.
Yes. Yes.
We don't stop moving
Yes.
because we get old.
Absolutely.
We get old
Right.
because we stop moving. So it's back to that idle thing.
Yes.
Where we're sitting idle. So folks that are on the computer and are driving for a living or whatever, you need to get up and move around at least every hour on the hour. I would actually love every half an hour if you could even if you just, what I call butt ups.
Yeah.
You just
Something.
sit and move around in your chair, squeeze your glutes, pretend like you got a $100 bill, visualize that $100 bill in there and squeeze that $100 bill really tight. So
Right.
squeeze, release, and and wiggle your toes, drop back, get your eyes off the screen, let your optic nerve have a rest. Because what happens when you're in this forward flexion on the computer, like I've got graphs and pictures of x-rays of people that spend years on the computer, and you literally turn into this hunch.
You start to mold.
And then your head is forward, and you've got reverse neck now.
Yeah.
You've gone from military neck to reverse curvature neck, and then a protruding neck, and then back to nutrition again.
Yeah.
Once again, if you're not getting proper nutrition and that osteoarthritis and osteoporosis sets in,
Yeah, you're in trouble.
you're in big trouble.
Again, and then
trouble.
it all maps back to the same thing: quality.
Yes.
Just quality of life. And if you could change that, why wouldn't you? If you can enhance that, why wouldn't you? So I think it's a combination, right? The mindset,
Yes.
the belief,
Yes.
right, and the action, right?
Yes.
Doing it and surrounding
So
yourself with the right
education.
people.
Yes.
Yes.
So what I do is body, mind, spirit.
Mhm.
And if you're wanting to work with me, I can work with you. If you want to work with your company, I can come in and do corporate. I can do sports teams. I can do little children all the way up to elderly. And what we do is we address you. You know, what's going on with you, Dave?
Right.
Just like that day that you had that epiphany, I get to go
Yes.
do this. And this time I'm going to kill it.
Right.
I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to have a great time doing it.
But
And now guess what you get to do? You get to close your eyes and you get to relive that experience. Positive experience. Whenever you want to.
Yeah. You
But
never.
don't do it while you're driving.
No, but it's so
But you know
true.
what I mean? You can, that's in your tapes now.
Yeah.
And you can tap into that.
I turned the lights on, and there was no monster under the bed. Right? I just turned the lights on. Yeah, and that's it. I love it. When we have a lot of people jumping on, you're bringing the heat, girl.
Are you guys giving us hearts?
Yes.
I forgot all about
Patrick.
people. Hi, Patrick.
What's up, buddy?
Hi, Patrick. I love you.
Stephanie says hi, Suze. Hi, Dave.
Hi, Stephanie.
Chris Ripka. What's up, big man? Good to see you, Patrick. Awesome topic between two very knowledgeable people. Thank you, Stephanie, Patrick, Marion, the Monster Moderator. Marion says, hey, Chris. Hey, Stephanie. Patrick, and you are awesome at what you do.
Oh, thank you, babe. That was nice. Even though I get on your case sometimes.
That's part of it, right? That's part of it.
I'm learning.
That's
I'm
awesome.
learning to be sweet and nice instead of cracking the whip. Because I can crack Dave, we can crack the freaking whip if we want.
Listen, that's what happens. People,
we can crack the whip
people
if we
say,
want
how come
to.
you don't want to do like coaching? I say, because I become a football coach.
We can.
Well, because it's because we're just passionate. That's who we are, and I wouldn't want it any other way. And that's just, I'm either both feet in or both feet out.
And you know what I love about you that drew me to you is no excuses.
Just get it done.
You're a no excuse.
Just get it done.
And I think my journey with the holistic health is I still don't like excuses.
Right.
But now what I do is go, okay, why are they making an excuse?
You're peeling back the layers.
Yeah, we're peeling the layers and we're going, okay, what's really the core issue here?
Let's figure out that
Let's
why.
figure out what the core issue is. And did you see my where I broke the arrow with my throat at conference, the leadership conference?
No, you did that?
Okay, this company, we're going to drink this in a minute. I keep teasing you guys. They do what you do in a leadership conference, and they have you do things like breaking boards and exercises to break through the fears. Like you get in touch. Like I said, the core issue. You get centered and you get in touch with what is bugging you. Like you woke up that morning and that was really bugging you, and you were not going to be able to let that go.
Yeah.
So get back on the horse and ride the horse as quickly as possible. They did an arrow where you take the arrow and you put they took the ones without the spikes. So they took the spikes off. Otherwise, people could be in the hospital. And you put this arrow at this vulnerable soft spot right here at your throat. Well, we call it chin hole in swimming when I used to teach swimming. This little indentation, and it's very soft, and it can go right through into your
esophagus, right?
Esophagus. So it's right below the trach. So you put this arrow on your throat, and then you have your coach that's holding a board, and they put the back end where the feathers are on this board, and they're your pillar of strength, and they're your cheerleader, and they're coaching you to push through and break this arrow.
Wow.
If you hesitate at the wrong nanosecond, that arrow can penetrate and go into the throat. So, of course, you know, they had EMS standing by, and we had to sign waivers, and it was magnificent.
How long did it take?
And I thought, oh man, I got this piece of cake, no problem. And I get up there, and it's, you know, and I'm facilitating, and I'm helping, and I didn't hold the board, but I was coaching, and you know, and I was filming folks. And then it came my turn, and I had just watched this lady take 30 minutes to get through whatever was blocking her.
They wouldn't stop.
She would start to go, and then she would back up, and then she would just start. She went into full-blown trauma release work. What I do in the office, what I do in my therapy office when we do trauma release work, she was doing it during this exercise.
Wow.
And I filmed her, got permission, and so by the time she finally, and it was so emotional, like everybody was gathered around now to
cheer her on,
cheer this lady on to break that fear barrier.
Yeah.
To get that monster out from under the bed, whatever it was that has been holding her back. And she was a middle-aged lady, been holding her back her entire life. So by the time this all ends, and then a couple more later, it was my turn. Like in the beginning, I'm like, yeah, baby, I got this. And by the time it was my turn, I'm like, oh crap, I don't know if I got this. Because I'd watched all these people like going through, like I resonated with them like maybe a little too much. I got a little too empathetic. And so I stood there, and my gal that's coaching me, she's an awesome lady, and I look in her eyes, and I went, I had an oh crap second. Like, oh crap. Like, am I going to be the freaking one that doesn't do it? Like, all these people have had, like, you know, life-changing experiences. Yeah. And
now
I was like you that day when you went home and were like, no, I'm just, you wake up that morning and you're like, so I was like, no, Suzy, just do it. Just get it done. Just don't think about it. So I'm standing there, and I have it on my Facebook. I had one of our buddies film it, and I posted it. It wasn't live, but we got the video. And I looked at her, and I backed up, and the arrow dropped. And then I looked at her again, and she's like, you can do this. And she got with me in my eyes through that optic nerve, and I just went, I did a Dave Daley, and I just went, and my pecs flexed, and that arrow just snapped.
Wow. How was that? When you heard that snap, what was that?
Freedom. Absolute, complete release and freedom from mental chains that had been in my subconscious tape since I was 1 year of age.
So you were able to get the power back. See, I love that. So
it was. I didn't even know that was in there. And then what happened was they took us through a visualization. Mm-hmm. They dimmed the lights. After everybody was done, they dimmed the lights and they did the visualization. And they had us project this person that just went through this exercise and broke the arrow, and project yourself 5 years from now. And have that person 5 years from now thank the person that just broke the arrow, so that all your achievements and all your accomplishments that you're going to do now from this day forward, you, in your mind's eye, you're visualizing and you're thanking the person today for doing what they did today, so that you can create your destiny
and create that person.
Correct.
Create that person that got to that level, got to that.
And these exercises, and you know, your subconscious mind, it's real.
Yeah.
It's real to you. the danger is real.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
the accomplishment, the victory is real.
Yeah.
You know, it was as exhilarating for me as when I stood on stage in Japan at International Naturals and was second in the world.
Yeah.
In my bodybuilding. But then what happened, I did not expect. As we were going through that, and they have you put a smile on your face when you're going through this exercise and you're visualizing, and then they bring you back to today, in the present moment. And so what happened for me was I went into the release work after. I had the trauma release work after the accomplishment.
How long after?
Like while we were doing that visualization exercise. And he's having us smile, and the lights are dim, thank goodness, because that would have been kind of embarrassing if anybody filmed or took pictures. I'm smiling, and my eyes are closed, and I am in full-blown process, and I'm bawling.
Really?
Like almost bawling.
Really?
Of release work. And what it was, you write whatever your fear is on the arrow before you do your exercise. So you have a paper and you write down the thing like fear of rejection, fear of failure,
what other people think,
fear of cockamamie-ness.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah,
you know, just fear of your own kooky self-talk, whatever it is. You know, fear of getting in trouble, fear of success.
Fear of failure, fear of success.
Fear of success actually kind of is more strong than fear of
failure. And I also call the fear of failure, fear of success. It's the recon. Right?
Yes.
It's the ambush.
Yes.
It hits you and it stops you every single time at a certain level. And if you can't identify it, it gets you. It's the sniper.
And it's because your subconscious mind knows.
Yep.
And your cognitive mind knows that where much is given, much is expected. So when you're successful, there's a lot of responsibility that goes with that.
Absolutely.
And you got to be ready for it.
Yes.
And if you're not ready for it, you're going to sabotage.
Every time.
So what these do is these exercises break you through. So I'm going through process.
Okay. And
I am getting in touch with something I never, like I knew it was there from my mom telling me the story.
But
of what had happened when I was a year old. But you didn't
realize how it affected you.
I had no idea.
And how it held you back.
I had no idea.
And how it chained you down.
I should have brought that arrow today. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
I'll take a picture of it and post it. So I had several things that I had written down of my fears that were bugs, you know, like our things that bug us.
Yep.
But the one that I zeroed in on, and I took the Sharpie pen and I wrote it on my arrow, was abandonment. And I know there's a lot of folks out there that have abandonment issues. I work with folks in my practice that have abandonment issues, and you know, like attracts like. Yeah. So good. Hopefully, I won't have any more abandonment issues. Anyway, I'm crying and I'm realizing that OMG, my mom and dad split up when I was a year old. My mom took my brother David and I and left. But me, little Suzy Q, you know, I'm like maybe a year old. All I knew is my daddy was gone. And I associated that with daddy left us.
Abandoning.
And my whole, and I'm getting teary-eyed, my whole entire life, I have been afraid of being left. Yeah. And I have been afraid of people loving me and leaving me. Right. And I've manifested a few of those. Okay. I don't want to do that anymore. And also the overachiever. Like we talked about in my first interview about how, you know, I'm an overachiever, and it's because you know, prove driven, just driven. Just watch that. Yeah. And it's not so much for attention; it's internal. Right. It's like you had that I'm not letting this get the best of me. I got to go divide and conquer, right? And you got to go get to do this.
Yes.
So you've learned to turn it into positives. I've been doing positives, and this was quantum acceleration and moving forward for me.
Yeah.
And the things that used to really set me off, that's why I was saying I don't give the middle finger anymore, what we said, fly the bird.
To society.
To society. Or to anyone. But I don't have, those triggers are gone. Like when I was talking about getting centered, my spinal cord and my spinal fluid realigned itself, like on a cellular level. And the facilitator that coaches us on these things, he's a genius. He's a PhD in psychology. He's a neuropsychologist, and they're literally retraining us neurologically and on a cellular level. And let me tell you, gang, you go in there and you think, oh yeah, it's a lot of hoopla. It's for real.
It's real.
It's the real deal.
It's real. Yeah.
It really is. And all the work that you do, and your coaching and your mentorship, and to have, having us here and having us share, and every time we're better. And
it's really life 101. Personal development is life 101.
It is. And it's I had a client come in this week that was kind of on a Debbie Downer a bit, and going through some stuff. And I said, yeah, but you know what? Go do something fun. And I've told my clients this for years, how we like to rock out. I was posting pictures when I'm stuck in traffic. And I was pumping up because I'm stuck in that traffic. How do people do that traffic every day coming up here anyhow?
Because they get to.
And I put on that dance electronic music right before I got here, just to change that energy of being stuck in that stuck and go.
Yep.
And starting to feel myself getting frustrated. And I was like, wait a minute. Why am I getting frustrated? I'm on my way to see the Monster Motivator, dude! I get to go see the Monster Motivator. I get to chat with him. I get to let people see a little bit of about who I am.
Yes.
And share with you and reconnect
share
with you.
Share your passion.
And then I change the channel, and then I'm not kidding you, 30 seconds, you're like, hey Suze, how's traffic? And I went, I'm getting pumped up.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's perception, and we have that ability, and those little things like you get to.
Yeah.
Right? When you're in that traffic, you could be in a hospital bed, right? You could be somewhere that you don't get to do that.
Yeah.
That's what, and that's all it is just that little bit, like that little change in perception. It's so interesting. It's so so interesting.
It works.
It does. It absolutely does. And when you see those people that can do that on such a consistent basis, and my mom, God rest her soul, she had gotten into she was in Jersey. It's in the wintertime, and she walking she's in 80-something years old, and she was walking in the grocery store, and it was slippery because it was ice and water, right? And she fell, and she broke her right hip.
Oh no!
And her left ankle. Like, just craziness, right? And they send me, I'm here, so she sends me pictures. It looks like she got hit by a truck, right? Bruised from head to toe, swollen. So now they get her, and she starts to go through rehab. And people that knew me at the time, nurses and all, said, hey, I just wanted to let you know, at that age, when you break a hip,
It can be devastating.
So now, fast forward the clock. She's 7 weeks into rehab. And she goes, what else you want me to do? What? They go, you're done. Like they kicked her out of rehab.
Because she wanted more.
Yes.
She felt so good, she wanted to keep going.
So when I got them out here at a retirement community in San Marcos, I would call her. Now she's getting close to 90, right? And she's this tall, 100 pounds soaking wet. She was a beast. And years ago, she must have heard me say this. So now every time that I would see her and I'd leave, she'd go, "Make it count, make it count," right?
You always say that.
So
she
goes, "Make it count, make it count." So I call her, and where their little condo was right on the first floor, and their patio looks right out the water. So I go, "Ma, what are you doing? How's everything going?" She goes, "Oh my God, great. We do water aerobics 3 times a week. We do this, we do that, we do this. It just."
See, that's me when I'm 90.
Right. But that's the quality,
All right?
And it's just unbelievable, isn't it? Like how that mindset, how that belief. But and I think it maps back to, she was a little girl. She had 2 older brothers, and her dad was a really bad alcoholic. So he left. Her mom couldn't raise him, just couldn't keep him. So they all got split up and went to foster homes. She didn't know her mom until she was 18 years old, right? So all that. But I think, and very, very strict, especially then, homes that she lived in. Anyway, so everything that I remember about her, she just couldn't, she always is in that little girl mindset where she gets to, and she just wanted to always look and do new things and go new places, and
that's me. That's my little Suzy Q.
Yeah, because isn't it amazing?
It's funny that you say that, because people that grew up with me, I would go back for reunions and things, and they had a hard time fathoming me being serious. You know, and you know how life beats you up and kicks you when you're down. And so my friends would see me, and I had lost that little Suzy Q I get to at one point.
Yep.
You know, I was just a very, very serious individual. I was on a mission from God. Anyway, and then with bodybuilding, you're so focused, and you've got your blinders on.
Complete.
And you're in your own world.
It is. You're in your own world, in that world, which is a
subculture.
There's no question. There's no question. It's so crazy. I'd go to
that subculture so much.
I know, but I'd go to the Olympia, right? And I remember pulling up, because me and my ex-wife used to take our vacations around the Olympia, and that was when it was
I can totally believe that.
And that was when it wasn't just in Vegas. So we were in Atlanta, we were here, we were there. And as soon as you go to the airport and you just see the calves and you just see the people, you're like...
Did you see who's come out of retirement?
Yes,
He's
Kevin LeBron.
Back. Since Kevin LeBron.
Flex.
Yeah.
Have you seen him?
I saw him on Flex magazine today, and first I saw he's back, and then I zero in on the picture. I'm like, holy cow!
52.
Is he 52?
Yes. Wow. 52. He looks.
No way, dude.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was glad to see Kevin LeBron come back. He's such a wonderful human being.
And he was so. They were both, but Flex's muscle bellies, I just never saw anything like it. It was like a cartoon.
You know, he's from Fresno.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I got to meet him early on, and I still have that weight belt. I don't think you can read his autograph, but I had him autograph my weight belt.
Was he?
And he wasn't pro yet. He was still NPC.
Yeah, but
he was up and coming.
Just phenomenal.
And I was like, just starting to, bodybuild, because how I started bodybuilding was because of swimming.
Yeah.
Because I always had, and I think I told you this in the first interview, I always had big button legs from running track and high jump, long jump. And when I started swimming, my upper body just went, right? And I came home and my mom's like, what have you done? What do you mean? I'm swimming. But we were cross-training. Yeah. Cross-training with weights and the stroke machine if we ever find a stroke machine, we're buying it. That thing, you talk about putting on awesome upper body mass. That thing will put the mass on you quick. So, and it's kind of almost like a Pilates situation. It's because it's not weight, it's resistance.
Yeah.
So, but you're doing it, going through the same way you would in the water. So, but anyway, I know I get off on track, but because I start remembering stuff, you make me start remembering things that I haven't thought about forever. Wild.
And yeah.
So anyhow, I had people telling me, you need to bodybuild, you need to compete. It's just like when I'm in my undergrad, and I made an attempt, but I couldn't diet because I was in my kines class, I was in my exercise phys class. You can't diet and study. Yeah. It ain't happening.
And do
it. It just ain't happening. You can't remember anything. You can't remember what you read 5 minutes ago, much less go take your exam. So anyway, so I said, nah, and I put it off for a few years. However, I was still training. I just wasn't going to be able to do the diet situation. So I go to this seminar, and Flex Wheeler's there because he's from Fresno. So he had come up from LA, and he was like a special speaker, up and coming, getting ready to go for his pro card. And I walk up, and I'm kind of bashful. I guess I wouldn't say shy, but intimidated. I guess was the word because
a little taken back. Yeah,
he's like the dude, and so I was like, "Could you autograph my weight belt?" I was like, and I'm laughing now because I was such a goofball. And he just looks at me. He's like, "Sure." And he grabs a pen and he signs his name on my weight belt. And do you know how many times we move in life?
Yep.
That weight belt has gone everywhere with me. And people are like, "Why do you have this crap?" Leave my crap alone.
That's right. I mean, he's a special athlete. I mean, just a special athlete that doesn't come along.
He went through a hellacious period of time in his life up in LA. With the gangs and things like that.
Yeah, no, and even some had some illness and physical issues. So
did Kevin LeBron have his physical.
They all it's just that's a life. It's just a wild
ride. So now we got to get
got?
this in their hands.
So
we got to get this stuff in those guys' hands so they can get it in their bodies.
There is a pro that's repping, right?
Tony Freeman, the X-Man.
Matter of fact, I think he just did a live stream today.
He did. I didn't get to see it because I was driving here.
Yeah, okay. I just saw him real quick, but he was saying something about it must have not been going live, and he said he finally got to go live.
Well, Tony Freeman, okay, you guys, Tony Freeman is one of the keto coaches. Yeah. Do you want to be coached by an IFBB pro?
Yeah, and then he's a beast.
Hit me up. Get a hold of me. Let's get you connected. You guys need to be on this 8-week challenge with us. And hopefully you'll get Tony Freeman. If you want Tony Freeman, you might want to request him. I don't know how they're going to figure out which coach goes with whom.
That's all right.
I would say if you did the 8-week challenge, you would probably get Tony Freeman as your coach.
And like we said, nothing happens by mistake.
No.
Right?
No.
So we are... Tony Freeman, X-Man. Yeah, that's it, man.
You found it?
No, Patrick was saying X-Man.
Patrick, you're still on there? That's awesome.
He's loving the show.
He's on duty today.
And you know who else?
He's a real live hero. He saves lives for a living.
He's a fireman.
Fire cap.
Fire captain.
He's on command.
You need to connect with Marion.
Hi, Marion.
The Monster Moderator. She's 71 years old. And so she's loving this show, so you need to connect.
I want to meet you.
Okay. So
I want to meet you, Marion.
Connect.
What does Marion do?
Well, she's retired now, and she used to. We used to have her as the moderator, so she would read who called in.
Oh.
So, yeah. So we're gonna find
Marion. Do you work out, Marion? Does she work out?
Well,
Are you working out?
She'll give you her thing, and it's funny. I know that she didn't work out before, but she's changed everything. Like her whole life in the last year has changed tremendously.
Oh, I'm excited.
Big time. She just wrote her first book.
Oh, I'll tell you what. We'll work out, and you can tell me about writing a book.
She's
And what you went through to
she's
learn how to
you've
write
got
your
to
book.
connect with her. She's awesome.
So,
awesome lady.
okay.
So what do we got here?
We have
And you have
the
ice in
double. I have ice in here.
Okay.
We have the double ketones. Should I not show them what it is? You guys, if you want to know what it is, you have to get a hold of me.
Yes. Yes.
But Dave Daley is about to meet Max.
Uh-oh.
Maximize, quantify, optimize.
That's a girl.
Better than you were before. I will make you better than you were before. And Dave can tell us he's getting a drink out of the special Q.
Look at that.
The special ketones are greater than glucose. Only Q drinks out of this one. It's clean. I don't drink out of the thing. I always pour it into a cup. I'm a weirdo like that. Everybody else drinks out of their bottles. I like mine in a cup.
So Marion's interested in optimizing.
All right. We will optimize. That might be a little more water than what I normally do.
Right.
I like mine strong, so I don't put as much water. So
Salute.
here is to better, to I get to, and what was the other one?
I don't know, but I know one
That
thing.
your mom said.
Oh, make it count.
Make it count! Woo!
Wow, that tastes amazing. Wow.
Smell it.
Man, that tastes amazing.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that taste is on.
It's freaking ridiculous.
That's on. That taste is
It
on.
freaking rocks! Yeah. Is that awesome?
Yeah, that's actually delicious. Wow. Yeah, that is really good.
So if you want to
this
know,
would be
it's
awesome if you did if you froze them
oh yeah,
like a
they make popsicles,
popsicle. This would be an awesome popsicle.
right? And by the way, on that one, Albertsons, World Market, Hobby Lobby, and what was the other one where I was the other day? Ralph's. Have those little old-fashioned popsicle makers like our moms and grandmas
the plastic
used to.
ones.
They're plastic.
Yeah.
Well, it used to be Tupperware back in those
Yes.
days, but now
Yes.
it's whatever it is. So you can pour this in. You can go buy those and pour that
This
in
would be-
and make your popsicles. Make your keto popsicles.
This would be badass popsicle.
So what I
Wow.
do is I take the chocolate one. This is what I do in the morning. I have my powdered coconut oil keto. I put it in my coffee. I drink that while I'm getting ready for work and listening to my keto conference call. And then because it's the only way I would get to listen. And then we got to keep ourselves positive. We got to keep ourselves
Motivation, inspiration, and perspiration, baby.
That's it.
Right?
And so then I make half of one of these and half of one of the chocolates. And it's like a
Combine it?
chocolate covered cherry.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's amazing. And I don't know if I
And
have
the beautiful thing about that chocolate covered cherries, you don't have to chew it and spit it out.
I don't have to. I get to drink it and enjoy it. No, I've got some out in the car, so I'll leave some with you before I leave today to go back to San Diego. Here, I'm gonna let you have it. I'll let you have most of it. Because I want you to post tonight at about 9 o'clock when you're like, I don't know, cleaning your baseboards or you
Really?
feel like you want to go do a workout
Yeah?
after drinking this.
Really?
I just gave you all. I gave him all. I'm having just a little. Whoop, I'm having just a little tiny.
So is this
bit.
so?
So as I want him to post and tell us how he feels in a couple
But
hours.
talk about that, right? So it's not a stimulant,
No,
right? So talk about
Not a
that.
stimulant.
So when you say that, some people might think,
no. Please, 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 if you take anything away from what we chatted about
Yeah.
today, and I hope that you don't partake of these, but if you do, you know what I'm going to say already before I say it.
right?
No energy drinks.
Why?
Those energy drinks are primarily caffeine. And I had someone the other day say, well, it's got taurine in it. Well, big deal.
Right.
If you want taurine, go buy BC2As and take your BC2As. It's 100 to sometimes 1,000 times more caffeine than an adult body should have in a 24-hour period. It's irreversible heart valve damage over time. It is literally cracking a can. I do know why, but I honestly don't understand why we still have this stuff on the market, because they know, beyond the shadow of a doubt.
Oh, yeah, listen.
And I was telling one of my clients the other day about this. So what we're talking about are these energy drinks. I'm not going to name names because I don't want anybody that represents them getting mad at me.
Right.
But they're being sponsored to wear the paraphernalia and promote these products. I really, really hope that most of them don't drink those products. But what happens is it's a central nervous system stimulant. Say that one 5 times fast. And it jacks your nervous system up so bad, and the heart has to work so hard. And then if you are drinking these and then you're going and working out, and now you are asking the heart to go crazy overload to overcome all this caffeine that you have just ingested. Some of our products do have a little bit of caffeine in them. It's about the equivalent of a cup of tea up to a regular sized cup of coffee, which is maybe 80 to 100 milligrams of coffee. Reason being is folks that are already doing caffeine, you don't want them cold turkeying off caffeine. They'll have withdrawals, they'll have headaches, whatnot. Also, on the benefit side, it's enough caffeine to where there is a benefit. Performance-wise. It's not, you're not overloading the system.
Right.
And then it also acts as a catalyst for assimilation for the ketones. So it is beneficial. I personally don't do a whole lot of the products with the caffeine. I use the ones that are caffeine-free because I like to have my cup of coffee in the morning. That's my comfort food, from growing up on the ranch. And you wake up in the morning and mom's percolating coffee. So if you had a percolator pot when you were a kid and your mom percolated coffee, hit 1 in the comments and give us some thumbs up and some hearts.
That's right.
So I want to see how many old folks are out there that grew up with percolating coffee. So anyhow, it's a balance. It's all about balance for optimization. Okay. So you don't want to do tons and tons of caffeine, but you can do some caffeine. So what the ketones do is they feed your body, like we talked about earlier. When you're on a ketogenic diet, those are endogenous ketones. So your body is taking those fats and processing through the liver, and it's putting out ketones to feed your body on a cellular level. Now we have the exogenous ketones, and they are giving us the ketones from the outside in. For the first time in our lives as human beings, we have this available. And all you have to do is put it in ice and water. Ice makes it taste better. It enhances the flavor. Shake it up and drink it. And that's it. It is that simple. In a nutshell.
That's awesome.
And, everybody can do it. It's our neonatal doc likes to say from the womb to the tomb, and our lady that's on Wednesdays on Facebook Lives, a lot of times she's on doing Q&A, and she also uses that key phrase, it's safe from womb to tomb. And we actually, this year, had some of our moms that gave birth to keto babies. So we've had our first keto babies this year. So were born into ketosis. The mother's milk, when they nurse their babies, has ketones in it. Where we get fouled up is when we start feeding our babies lots of cereals and lots
all the
of
simple sugars, all the
sugars,
carbs,
and all these carbs, and then we get that sweet tooth, and then we get that insulin imbalance. So what this does is it catapults you to help those that have a hard time not having processed packaged foods or sugars or chocolate. Like for me, before ketones, chocoholic. After ketones, I eat chocolate, but it's not a big deal anymore.
Yeah, it's just not.
Because my brain is being fed by the ketones, I'm not craving those opioids from the chocolate.
Right. It doesn't, you took control back.
Yep.
Really is ultimately what happened, right? It's an addiction. You took control back and you figured out a way to do that. And that's what I love. So now that we took this drink, we are going to end this show like no other. And as you know, right, we're in one state of mind at a time. So if we can be in that unstoppable state, if we can roar like a lion instead of purring like a kitten, we're going to take this out Monster Motivator style. Ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Ah! Girl, awesome job.
I love you, Dave.
Awesome job, kiddo. Awesome job.